wake up, Belize. Another day is here. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving. Na 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 na. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Everybody gotta put the time in. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Voice our opinion and place your calling. WB. Be yourself, see yourself. This is the show my people. Belize our hope so to needless reason. Nobody feel about it. Divide we dealing. Let's find a solution. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Love, respect, unselfishness and cooperation. That's how we need to build a strong nation. We are the people to make the changes. We are the changes. WB. And all the things that will happen like dark blue skies. I love it when people get victimized. Let's work together for better. We got to unite. Belize, yeah. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Another day is here. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving. Na 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 na. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Everybody gotta put the time in. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Voice our opinion and place your calling. Get up, make every day count. Don't waste it, people. Do your part, play around, get where you need to. You can tune in from work or in your vehicle. If you got a problem, pick up the phone. Why wait till the time calling is the show with no matter even if you're at home. Just call in. WB. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Another day is here. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving. Na 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 na. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Everybody gotta put the time in. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Voice our opinion and place your calling. WB. Be yourself, see yourself, this is the show my people. Believe our hope so to needless reason. Nobody feel about it, divide we dealing. Let's find a solution. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Love, respect, unselfishness and cooperation. That's how we need to build a strong nation. We are the people to make the changes. We are the changes. WB. And all the things that will happen under the blue skies. I love it when people get victimized. Let's work together for better. We got to unite. Belize, yeah. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Another day is here. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving. Na 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 na. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Everybody gotta put the time in. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Voice our opinion and place your calling. WB.
Welcome to Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes from back at the zinc fence, that 3304 Mandela Drive, XTV simulcasting on Creme Radio, live streaming on YouTube, Facebook, and I think we got IG too. It's Wednesday, June 26, 2024. It's the 26th week of 2024, and you're locked into the People Station, Community Station behind the zinc fence. I'm Sister YaYa Marin Coleman, sitting in for Sister Katie Numi Usher, who has been under the weather for a few days. She's on the mend, and we'll be joined by Brother Mose Hyde by Zoom after I have read the news brief prepared by our news room, led by our director, The usual, if you're a regular, if you're on first count, then we have things that we have to do before we get into the meat of the morning conversation or people call in and talk with way. And so the first thing we're going to have is the weather forecast, and that was prepared by the Belize Meteorological Service, and the forecaster today is Catherine Cumberbatch, and then we will share the news brief, take another break, and then we'll open up the phone line and we are cascas. So we'll go ahead and take a brief break so that we could find out what the weather will be like around the country and for the next few days.
Good morning, Belize. Relatively moist and unstable conditions persist. The 24-hour forecast for Belize and her coastal waters calls for sunny skies today with cloudy spells, and high temperatures for today are expected to reach 90 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast to 95 inland and 82 over the mountains. Tonight the skies will be cloudy at times with low temperatures of 82 along the coast, 74 inland and 68 in the higher elevations. A few showers and isolated thunderstorms will continue to develop mainly along the south coast and central inland areas of the country during the morning hours. This afternoon, shower activity will develop mainly over inland areas. Tonight and tomorrow morning, expect a few outbreaks of showers and thunderstorms to develop mainly over southern districts. The winds will blow from the east to southeast at 10 to 15 knots, and the sea state will be light to choppy. A low tide will occur at 6:47 a.m. followed by a high at 12:54 p.m. Another low occurs at 8:09 tonight and a high at 2:21 a.m. The sun rose at 5:20 a.m. and set at 6:30 this evening. The moon set at 9:50 this morning and comes up at 10:43 tonight. The outlook for Thursday and Thursday night is for cloudy spells. Shower activity will be isolated, then expect some outbreaks of showers and thunderstorms to develop mainly south and coastal areas during the night. In the tropical weather outlook, a westward moving tropical wave located over the central Caribbean Sea is producing disorganized showers and thunderstorms. Although this system only has a low chance of development, there is some potential for some gradual development once it reaches the western Caribbean Sea. Regardless of development, this system has the potential to produce heavy rainfall over Belize this coming weekend. The National Meteorological Service will continue to monitor this system closely and update the public of any development. And that's your morning forecast that was produced here at the National Meteorological Service.
The first private radio in Belize since 1989, Creme FM presents the news. Informative, accurate, current information, local, regional, and international news, weather and sports. And now, the news.
Good morning. I'm supposed to reach for this teleprompter and I'm not seeing the fonts. It's my first time using this new method. Harlan, help me. I am doing what you told me to do. Oh, I see what happened. In preparation for the newscast, reading the news brief, I read the whole thing and I didn't take it back up to the top of the news brief. And so I'm like, where's the news brief that I'm supposed to read? Yeah, I thought, but this is a part of life. That's how you live and you learn. And so I'm about to start the news brief for this morning. And it begins, I tell you the news here early in the morning. All right, give me a second, people. I'm going to log into XTV Belize on YouTube. The Belmopan house of the Commissioner of Police, Chester Williams, was shot at Tuesday night. The incident occurred after 9 p.m. It is believed that the two perpetrators were on motorcycle. Other details are unknown to us at this time. Fortunately, the commissioner was not at home at the time as he traveled Tuesday to attend a conference. This represents an even greater escalation of the attack on law enforcement, as just 3 days ago, the Roaring Creek police station was sprayed with bullets. SOE declared for parts of Belize City, Cotton Tree, and Roaring Creek villages. In response to another spate of murders and shootings, a state of emergency was declared in the first instance for 30 days in parts of Belize City, including all of South Side and Victoria Street on the north side, as well as in the villages of Cotton Tree and Roaring Creek in the Kaya district. The police department launched operations Monday in Roaring Creek in response to the shooting at the village police station and early Tuesday morning in Belize City, seeking to detain about 100 people. Up to 9 a.m. yesterday, just over 60 people had been held. The Commissioner of Police, Chester Williams, however, indicated that not everyone will be held for the entire SOE period. The Compol, who was out in the St. Martin de Porres area of Belize City in the morning, gave an update on arrests made in the last few days for a recent murder, as well as for the murder of Elwin Bubba Lewis, which happened on March 22nd this year.
So this morning, as you see, the police are out in full force along with members of the Belize Defense Force, and we are pursuing those persons who we want to be detained as a part of the SOE. Well, we started operations since yesterday, and we have been able to detain a number of persons who are wanted for murders. As you'll see on our media blog, we had shared with you yesterday the arrest of 2 individuals. One was arrested for the murder of Elwin Lewis, which took place a couple months ago. That person had been on the run for a number of months from us, and we were able to locate him yesterday. And we also charged, I think, Marcus Kanaki for the murder of the guy Moore, who was killed on Sunday during the day. So those 2 individuals were captured as a part of these operations, and we have also detained a number of other persons who the GI3 will be looking at for a gang investigation, and a number of persons who are wanted by CID for different investigations as well.
I noticed that the police were able to recover firearms and rounds as well.
Yes, the police have recovered a number of firearms and ammunition within the Belize district and the Cayo area. I must say that since we started our operations in the Salinaso Santa Elena area, the team there have seized at least about 4 firearms and a number of ammunition. So it goes to show the work that the police has been doing in those areas to be able to crack down on the issue of crime. I don't think that everyone who has been detained will be going to prison. We want to make sure that we just go after those persons who are a part of the problem currently. If it is that there are players who are not active and have been working with LIU or behavior modification, we want that to continue. So we're not going to disrupt that from occurring.
In the case of Cotton Tree, the Compol explained why the SOE now encompasses that village.
We do have a number of elements who are originally from Roaring Creek, but they have moved over and take up residence in Cotton Tree. And those people are among the group of persons who are terrorizing that entire western corridor. They commit burglaries, robberies, shootings from Cotton Tree all the way to the border area. And so it is important for us to be able to capture those persons as a part of the SOE. Had we just left Roaring Creek and not Cotton Tree, then they could always say that they no longer live in Roaring Creek, but now live in Cotton Tree. And detaining them would be a violation of their rights. So capturing Cotton Tree brings them into the fray and makes it better for us to be able to deal with them.
As with other SOEs, the Compol was once again asked about the Band-Aid approach to crime that SOE represent. He bristled at the question.
That's the narrative of Channel 7, and again, we respect your opinion, but at the end of the day, as a law enforcement organization, and the primary one at that in Belize, we have a responsibility to the people. And if it is that we have to implement measures that is going to work for a period of time until we can look at longer lasting measures, then it is going to happen. I believe that the SOE will work for the purpose for which it is being implemented. And again, it has a lot to do with making sure that we go after the right people, and that's the reason why we have our intelligence unit put together a list of persons who we have credible information against are involved in the ongoing feuds across the city. I am sure that you will be quite comfortable. Once the peace comes, when all these people are in prison, you'll be able to walk the streets how you want without having to be worried to be caught by a straightaway bullet. That is what we want. Citizen security is important for everybody, including you and your news director.
Sir, but what do you think will happen in 3 months? These men in prison, they get agitated, they lose their jobs, they can't make money, they're not seeing their families. What do you think happens after the 3 months?
I'm not a fortune teller. I can't say what happened in 3 months' time. But at the end of the day, I can tell you what will happen between now and the 3 months period is that we will do what needs to be done to keep the criminals at bay. They need to get the sense that we have had enough. And if the 3 months come and they come out and they come and do foolishness, then they're going back again. It's as simple as that.
Compal, you're saying you're going to an international conference. Do you get any feedback on these SOEs the same way I imagine people would comment in relation to what El Salvador is doing?
Hey, you think that Bukele is the most influential world leader for no reason? You think so? Come on, Marisol. SOEs is something that many countries in the regions are looking at because they have seen how effective it has worked in Salvador. And every government wants the people to be safe, want the people to be free. Our government is no different. Our Prime Minister, our Minister have been harping the importance of making sure that we keep our Belizean people and our visitors safe. That's the reason why they invest in the police department. That's the reason why we get more police officers. And that's the reason why we have to take measures like these at times to make sure the safety of our people. Yes, there are a handful of people who are out there trying to create havoc for us, but their rights cannot trample the rights of the majority. We are a free and democratic society, and we must make sure that we do our utmost best to make our people as free as we possibly can.
Compal discusses Roaring Creek Station shooting, says officers have faced several extortion allegations. Yesterday we explored with the Commissioner of Police Chester Williams the escalation of violence that the shelling of the Roaring Creek police station represents. The police say they know who the shooter is and are trying to locate him.
I don't think it's a matter of anti-police. So if you, for example, have a situation where you're going to shoot up a police, that may be anti-police from your perspective, but not from the general public perspective. A person may do things for various reasons. We don't know yet what's the reason. We have a basic idea. But to say that it's an anti-police sentiment, I will not go that far. But I will agree with you that it must be condemned to its greatest term. And the person who is responsible, or persons responsible, must be brought to justice. And we're going to make sure that we do what we can to have that happen.
Those people have the means. I mean, we're talking about a caliber that's beyond the 9mm.
It might sound huge, but a 40 caliber gun is nothing.
So you're not downplaying this?
That is just like a 9mm pistol.
You're not downplaying this, Compal?
No, I'm not
Because people are looking at this and they're concerned.
Marisol, we are concerned. Our police station was shut up. That's like our house. Our police officer life was put in danger. But I'm not going to make it more sensational for you. What the media wants is to make it more sensational to try and make the police look bad. I'm not going to play into your games. I'm not going to do that. As I said before, we condemn it to its strongest term, and all of us as a society, including the media, should condemn it to its strongest term. We cannot do things or say things that is going to make criminals feel like we're glorifying them, because that is what propels them to do the things that they do. But as a society, we must make sure we have the right message, we have the right attitude to make sure that those people who are responsible are brought to justice. And we are doing just that. The fact that you saw the number of operations in Roaring Creek yesterday, the fact that we call an SOE for Roaring Creek, it shows that we are not taking this for granted. And we're going hard after those persons who are responsible.
Also addressed whether the police officer standing at the entrance of the station was the target. Reports are that PC Amin Leslie's jacket was grazed and he had to get on the ground to avoid actually being hit.
At this time, we don't know. We have done interviews with PC Leslie to try and verify from him if it is that he had any personal issue with anybody per se. That interview yielded that there is no one he believed would have been able to do that. So we're looking at maybe just a random act, someone who wants to create a scenario for themselves. And so that's how the investigation is looking at this time.
Allegations have been made in relation to officers in that police station, and in particular, one case of extortion. Have you ruled out if that had nothing to do with it?
We are not ruling out nothing at this time, and I am fully aware of those complaints. If a matter of fact, there are several complaints of extortion. I'm not going to hide it, where Roaring Creek Police Station is concerned. And we have addressed that issue. A number of the officers have been disciplined. Some are on interdiction, some transferred. And we're trying to see what we can do to be able to alleviate this issue, because it is one that as an administration we're not condoning. Once we have the evidence of our police officers being involved in these type of activities, we make sure we deal with it swiftly. So if it is that maybe what you're trying to say is that perhaps one of the officers who have been interdicted as a result of extortion may now be going to target officers who are working there, that could be a possibility, but at this time, we are looking at it.
Is the tension within that station that bad that you're saying that's a
no, you
possibility
see, there
to
you go again,
No, but
Marisol.
I mean, you're putting out something that's serious.
Marisol, you asked a question. As an investigator, we don't rule out nothing. As an investigator, we have to look at every possibility, because if you have an investigation and you keep blinders on your head, you're not going to see things that are around you. You have to remove the blinders and make sure you have a holistic view of what is taking place. So I'm not going to try and justify nothing per se. I believe in saying things the way it ought to be said. So you asked the question, I answered you. We're not ruling out that possibility.
Members of the network of NGOs BNN and other partners wrote an open letter to the Minister of Natural Resources as well as to the Minister of Sustainable Development asking for an investigation into land developments in the Manatee Forest Reserve, which covers areas along the Coastal Plains Highway now seeing substantial deforestation. The land clearings came to light a few days ago when the thoroughfare flooded at the approach to the Soldier Creek Bridge. As a result, under 100 meters of asphalt was damaged. That sent the Ministry of Infrastructure Development on a mission to obtain aerial photos of the significant land clearings upstream. Dr. El McKay, the Managing Director of the Belize Maya Forest Trust and the chairperson of BNN, told us they want an investigation to determine the situation in the reserve. She says if there are illegal encroachments or squatting, it should be addressed. We're told that the Manatee Forest Reserve has no co-manager and therefore falls strictly under the management of the Forest Department.
We sent out an open letter to Minister Cordell Hyde and Minister Honorable Orlando Habet. Those ministries, they lead ministries that relate specifically to issues related to land issuance and also the environment and protection of the environment and the National Protected Area System for Belize. So that letter was in fact sent by a group of partners from the Maya Forest Corridor Coalition, as well as partners like from the Belize Network of NGOs and other allies. And the reason for sending that letter is because we actually have come upon evidence that has been publicly disclosed or shared on Facebook, an analysis that came out showing the deforestation that is happening in the Manatee Forest Reserve. A forest reserve is a category of protected area, and by our National Protected Areas legislation, land shouldn't be issued there, nor should there be any clearing that is happening. So clearly there is something happening in this reserve. And like I say, we are aware that there has been some land issuance. Now, we don't know who issued those lands. It could have been a previous administration. It could have been this government administration at a different time. How the land was issued, we don't have all those details, but we do know that there are titles granted within this protected area. And so what we are saying is this is very detrimental to all the work that we have actually been doing with those very same ministries and the government of Belize to protect the Maya Forest Corridor, because in fact the corridor and Manatee Forest Reserve are one large pathway, if you want to call it, that connects Belize's two largest forest blocks. And so there's no point in saving a portion if another portion is getting destroyed, because we're still losing the connectivity. And so I think all we are asking for is to understand what is happening and what the government is intending to do about it or will do about it.
BNN Senator Janelle Chinona highlighted the need for this development to lead to discussion on the issue.
Who is actually making these decisions? Who is actually in charge? Who is managing? Because if we're saying on one hand we're committed to biological corridors, we're committed to protected areas, we're committed to the integrity, knowing the goods and services that those areas are protecting, how is it that people are coming out of left field saying, but I have a title and I am doing this and this isn't a land grab, this is that? That is really the fundamental issue, I believe, from where I'm sitting in terms of making sure we know who is making these decisions, why are these decisions being made, how come that the decision isn't being shared in terms of informed decision-making, consultative processes, because at the end of the day, these are not questions that we should be asking after the fact. It really should be a conversation that we should all know why, if it is dereservation that's been taking place, then let's talk about that. But it shouldn't be that we're finding out by the way or by chance sort of scenario. And I think that letter should create a conversation around that again. I don't think it's the first thing that has prompted the need for such a discussion, but it's important that we have a national conversation about that management process so that we know how, when, why, and ultimately who's going to be ending up guarding that land.
In 2005, approximately 13,000 acres of the Manatee Forest Reserve was de-reserved. The Belize network of NGOs, BNN, yesterday launched a campaign titled Belize We're Ready to advocate for equal opportunities, legislation which Dr. El McKay, the chair of BNN, described as an anti-discrimination law that would benefit all Belizeans. You may recall that a draft bill was prepared years ago, but it ran into challenges when the churches determined it contained language they found to be controversial regarding homosexuality. The bill was withdrawn by the Barrow Cabinet in the last quarter of 2020. It was then revised, and the NGO community hopes that the bill can be tabled in short order. Here is BNN Senator Janelle Chinona and BNN Chairperson Dr. El McKay.
So the Belize We're Ready campaign is both aimed at creating public awareness and knowledge of, what is the status of equal opportunities, what is the bill that has been there since 2019 and hasn't passed. There were some changes made. So we're launching a website, a public service announcement, all of that where the public can go and learn more about this equal opportunities bill. And we, as the Belize network of NGOs, we advocate for good governance, for sustainable human development. So it is our mandate to look at laws like this that help us advance our human rights agenda and that help us reach our potential, in terms of human development. We can't have true human development if we still have discrimination rampant in our society. And I think discrimination is something that we can all identify with, either because we're too young, we're too old, we're women, we are, from a different race or a different culture. So discrimination exists in our society and it's a reality. So this is just saying we are ready for a law that promotes equal opportunities for all and creates a more just society for Belize. For example, just the act of being a woman, right? Sometimes you're discriminated against because of sex or gender. We also have things like breastfeeding in public. That is also something that is protected. A person suffering from HIV, all those things, associated with confidentiality and being able to get treatment. Youth and access to educational opportunities. No one, for example, should be discriminated against in terms of getting an education or housing, all of those things because of who they are or because of where they live, because of who they love. All of these things should not be the basis of discrimination. So the bill is really comprehensive in addressing, like I said, over 20 characteristics, protected characteristics. So this is something that touches us all. Because even if we do not fall under one of those specific protected characteristics, we have a relative who is, or we have a friend who is. So this is legislation for everyone.
As specific as the bill is trying to be, 22 characteristics, we're just hearing that, specific to the violence aspects, maybe it is that we're looking at gender-based violence as a part of specific categories of who the bill is looking at. And I think that's why I like the name, the Equal Opportunities for All, because it doesn't matter then how we are different. It is that the bill is working to address and be inclusive and protect and enshrine the rights that, as we just heard some of the panelists reference, that we were led to believe we were born with, but that now we know we have to legislate in order to get to the point that we feel like we have those rights. In an effort to get the equal opportunities legislation through Parliament, it's important that this bill, as we just heard, creates and protects and isn't watered down and isn't limited and doesn't marginalize where it should be strengthening. So that is what the launch is about. It's to share where the bill is at, the draft is at, to circulate, to initiate the conversation, to make sure that we know what the bill is and what the bill isn't, and what we know we don't want it to be, because we don't want to pass a bill in name. We want to pass legislation that actually does what we need it to do.
Pack prepared by the BNN ahead of the event, it outlines what the bill does not do and lists out change marriage laws, change abortion laws, criminalize discrimination, ban religious expression, or trump religious belief. And that brings us to the end of this morning's news brief. Thanks, news team. Everybody will make the news, so I know we call the director name often, but they have reporters and editors and drivers. They work long hours at great sacrifice. Respect to the people that will support them behind the scene. We're going to take one quick break, and when we come back, we'll be joined by our brother Mose Hyde via Zoom. He's still let us foreign. And then we'll open up the phone lines, and then we could reason with one another.
The first private radio in Belize since 1989. The news. Informative, accurate, current information, local, regional, and international news, weather and sports.
Amandala is now online. You can now access Amandala's midweek and weekend issues online by logging on to our website at amandala.com.bz/news and joining our membership portal today. There's 5 easy steps to get unlimited access to weekly e-paper, archive publications, and a host of other exclusive contents. Number 1, go to Amandala's website. Number 2, navigate to subscribed areas. Number 3, choose a membership level. Number 4, check out using our secured portal. Number 5, log into the members only section. Telephone numbers 501-280-4703 or 202-4477. Fax us at 501-222-4702, or you could email at amandalapress@yahoo.com or amandalapress@gmail.com. Amandala, all power to the people.
Atlantic Bank is an institution with more than 50 years of experience in partnership with Belizeans. We have been lending to all industries. We have been investing in the growth and development of Belize. We are proud to introduce Atlantic Bank's micro, small, and medium enterprise loan program, the perfect solution to grow and enhance your small business. Let Atlantic Bank be your partner in making your small business dreams come true. Call us or visit any of our branches countrywide today to find out more about Atlantic Bank's micro, small, and medium enterprise loan program. We will talk you through your options and find the best financial fit for you and your business. Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
Welcome back again to Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. Thanks for bear with me. You know how it goes sometimes. It's that time of the day when Mose Hyde comes in via Zoom. Mose, where are they? There you go. Morning. How the morning?
I'm well. Give thanks. What's going on? I'm not seeing you.
What you say?
I said I'm not seeing you.
You're not seeing me? Your video is on, your laptop, least thing open.
Yeah. Everything plug in, but I hear you, so.
Okay. We did see you too. We did see you. You rest well last night, you got drift boat?
I drift boat a little bit, but I know I was still late.
Good. And so, let me give out this phone number right now, because I know someone feel and we went somebody in the studio. So I'm in the studio. So make this line ring up. 280-5849. 280-5849. This is for owner space people. Oh, 5848. See, I don't got time my glasses. 280-5848. 280-5848. That is phone number. More, imagine I gave a text this morning, Belize and Belizeans, and the text say, how you not tell me that shoot up the Compol house? I say, I don't know. How I want to tell her that I don't know? And so that's one of the first news stories this morning that I read. And so that's a major concern, Mose, because not only has the level of gun violence increased, spiked, happening all over the country, whereas we have one issue with street figures and the police and the hospital in San Ignacio. Then we have Roaring Creek police station shut up. Now the commissioner police house get shut up at Belmopan. What were your thoughts, Mose, when you hear the report?
Well, when I read the report last night, because nobody had messaged me, I read the report. Well, one, it's good that nobody, stating the obvious, it's good that nobody was injured. The report says the commissioner was not at home. But it definitely, it's a very significant incident to take place as it relates to any kind of structural stability where a society is supposed to have. The head person that is responsible for safety and protection of the community is being terrorized. So that should really and truly send a significant enough alarm bell going on as to where we are, because we have where we are, and then we have the facade that we create, the normalization that takes place, because for people's own well-being, they create bubbles for themselves where, you know, they have a little bit of normalcy. You go to work, you stay clear of getting into any kind of situation. You get home, you turn on your TV, you watch whatever you watch on TV, and you listen to your music, and you go to bed, and you believe, guess what, I'm just going to stay away from what they perceive to be harm's way. You know, it's a kind of what you would call it's kind of like we create one little delusion for ourselves that, you know, or what we think about the stability within our surroundings or environment. We don't want to envision a thing where we are in an out of control environment. I think that many of us are very conscious that we don't exist in a society that is one that is structurally sound, to put it in a elegant way, structurally sound. And a society that is not structurally sound is going to roll and rumble and shake and go through what it goes through. And so I think the shooting up of the commissioner's house is one of those moments when something happens to kind of emphatically certify that this is our reality, and that it is not structurally sound. So I can recall some years back, might have been in the early to mid 2000s, when you had a situation where the Comptroller of Customs House, when there was a situation going on with containers of what at the time I believe was ephedrine related products that are used in the production of meth, and apparently that those containers were in transit through Belize, and I don't recall all the specifics about how it happened, but
one moment, Mose. One moment. There's a call. Good morning, call. Well, the light is flashing, and I never know when the light flashing means I want to call. Good morning. No. I just don't want people to put hold and we the other talk. But I had to press it and I know they hear nobody. Anyway, sorry for interrupt your call. Your thought, Mose.
No. This is not I'm not making a presentation. This is a conversation. So interrupting happens.
All right. Yes. Go ahead.
So you just have to look and see when you see a number, they pop up on the phone, and then I believe it's the last top button on the right that you're going to push down to make that call.
Yes.
Come on.
Thanks, Mose. And for remembering that incident when something similar happened, because I definitely may remember that.
Yeah, so I was kind of just, I'm not clear on all the details. I'm just giving you what I remember. So there was a situation where these containers, a whole turmoil coming out of these containers being discovered, and then so it was thought, though it was never a situation where there was any great detailed disclosure about who they felt. I think it was fired shots, if I'm not mistaken, with some form of a very, very aggressive behavior. At the time it was the Comptroller of Customs, and we had spent many mornings saying that that's our next level where we reach, and that's the equivalent level that I know. So I think that the commissioner, whether you like him or not, the position that he has, that particular position as being the person in charge of the brothers and sisters who have chosen a part of enforcing laws and protecting community. That's the mandate that they have, and that's the job that they have taken. And to have his home be shot at, that shows you that there is a mindset. We don't really care. We will. You are not off limits from us taking out whatever feelings we have. You're not off limit. The commissioner's house is not off limit. And so I guess the message that a regular citizen is going to take from that is, well, if the commissioner's house is not off limit, then for sure your house is not off limit. So that's kind of like why it is news making. I think I've been shared the video by Marisol. I want to maybe send it off to, let me, yeah, she is labeled it as Compulse House. So I will send these to you, Harlan, and then show it. So I guess, you know, we criticize the commissioner. We have issues with the commissioner, but it's definitely not a good incident. Nothing to celebrate. Nothing to be pleased about that has happened, because it's a statement about where we are, and it's our reality, and we have to deal with it. But that is still not something that you want to see happen. So that those would be my initial reflections on it, Sister YaYa.
And that's within hours of another state of emergency being declared in parts of Belize. So it could be read that it's in response, because this may be, I really not keep up with it. This may be one of the most far-reaching SOEs because of the different locations. Wouldn't you? Would that be accurate to say, Mose?
Well, the previous SOE also featured a combination of parts of Belize City as well as Roaring Creek. So it might be a bit more than the last one, but similarly it was covering two different geographical regions of the country. So
okay, so the last SOE would have been different, because usually the SOEs tend to be in Belize City. Some parts of Belize City, oftentimes south side. This one is packed south side, north side, Roaring Creek, Cotton Tree. So I read it as...
You're right. I mean, we are talking here about... So we are conscious of the fact that, you know, over the years, Roaring Creek, you know, has been in the news. You know, and Roaring Creek has traditionally had tough people. It has a reputation of being a tough village and having tough individuals over the years. So you're not gonna Roaring Creek and play simple then, right? We're not to talk about Roaring Creek has its reputation, and it has over the years that has had its share of violence and what have you, but it's never ever been a situation where it was something where you had an idea that it was kind of gun gang conflict driven or anything like that. So okay, cool. But when you have a situation where it's Cotton Tree, right? It's like Cotton Tree. It's like, I think Cotton Tree really jumps out there. I don't think that, I guess unless you were in law enforcement, you were conscious that Cotton Tree had so the point is that what you're saying is accurate, that this is the most extensive SOE, and also, you know, taking in areas that, you know, we've not traditionally thought of as having conflicts of the nature that we experience in Belize City. So yeah.
So then one of the first things I thought when I got the text is it in response to the SOE? And if it is in response to the SOE, I'm like, well, clearly we don't know all the players, or there are some new players, because according to the intelligence of the Belize Police Department, they pretty much throw a wide net. I mean, indeed you can't get every single person, but the way they position themselves, they're like, for the intel good, and then get the players. And they said they're not all of them want, you know, go to Belize Central Prison. The only some of them going. So if you just do that scoop, no hours, and then that happened, I'm like, I just try to understand from the street, like that what it is. And then another thought that crossed my mind is, and I've heard more than one person say it, when you hear the type of crime that they get committed, is like, there are so Belizean people. I mean, there are the kind of, you ask yourself, could it be people from other countries in Belize now? What is it? We have to try to figure out from street level the what is. Because the way we're going, like it escalate, the way it happen next.
Yeah, so I think there's always been a mixture of operators, bad actors, whatever you want to call them. There's always been a mix of people involving, you at various times you have your people here, and you will have people passing through, people who have come here. Again, the SOE is extremely savage, and we have maintained that position from the introduction of it under the previous administration, and I speak for myself, and I know most of the commentators that have been along with me, that we have never been in support of the SOE. Essentially what the SOE is, like we mentioned yesterday, is a page out of Mr. Bukele's playbook, where there is the removal of rights, your basic rights that are supposed to be protected, your right to due process, meaning I cannot just look on you and deprive you of your freedom without being able to prove that you have done something wrong that gives me the right to deny you freedom, to take you and incarcerate you. So for the benefit of better crime statistics, and indeed the argument has been made that the SOE actually saves lives, because once factions have gotten entangled in a live beef, which happens, and the cycle of retaliation is triggered, we have seen it many times result in a very short period of time, a significant number of people being killed. And nobody wants that. Nobody wants to see 6-7 people being killed in a very short period of time. Nobody wants that. But the state says we don't have any other capacity but to decide that we will just use the gillnet approach. So anybody that understands the gillnet was banned because what it does is that it doesn't only catch the people that are, it doesn't only catch the fish that you want to take home, it catches other things that you don't want, that have done, that are not, you have no interest in, and you end up killing off those things as well. So it's a very destructive type of thing, but very efficient for the fisher folk. So they have used the gillnet, and it's something that has its benefits. It's you don't have to go from spot to spot to use fuel. You just put your net down, and when you come back, your net have what you want, but then you also have what you didn't want, but now they are dead. So that's the analogy of using the gillnet. So we have the gillnet approach, where it is okay, we just want to carry everybody, and we not worry about your rights. We are waive rights. You have lost your rights. We are just, the state can now detain you on site. We can now have a list of people that we say are involved in an action, and over the years we know for a fact, and it's anybody that thinks it's different, they imagine. When you give that kind of power, that kind of carte blanche power, you might end up controlling some people who are directly involved with bad action. Inevitably, unavoidably, you end up taking care of a bunch of people where you, just by association, just by being in a certain neighborhood, just by being cousin, just by being whatever, they are going to be dealt and taken up. And then what complicates it is, now let's say I a youth growing up in a particular neighborhood A, I know the actors, we are familiar, we grew up, I know them, I'm cool with them, but I'm not riding like that. I'm not involved in that. I'm dealing with other things. But when an SOE comes, I am pulled up in this skill net. And now I'm going to be incarcerated with a bunch of other people that you say are bad actors. And now you have a situation where now I have now been tagged as a part of this. And that happens, know that for a fact. And people have been hurt because they have ended up being branded as being a part of a particular neighborhood's apparatus because the police department says that they are. So the SOE, if you are not, you look on it and you say, well, there's a bunch of bad guys, and I'm sure I'm hearing people right now who are, there are people out there who are very supportive of the SOE. They feel that there is nothing wrong in taking away the basic freedoms and rights where individuals are supposed to have because we know they're not bad people.
One moment, Mose. I'll have to stop your car. You know that time for 7:30, that's 7:30.
Okay.
No, 2 cents come being brought to us by Fort Point. And just to add quickly that it was a grenade that was used as an attack in the on the comptroller's house in March of 2009 that you had mentioned at the beginning of your sharing this morning. Most of finish that out when you come back, but 2 cents come time with brand new one, Fort Point Security, Brick City, that the interviewer. Hit it!
You're watching WUB and this is XTV. And state of emergency, they are important thing. 2 times since 2024 we have state of emergency. Make we find out the people in 2 cents in this community and see how they feel about it.
You know, affect me, kind of into that.
All right.
I don't into the streets, I do stuff, I'm home to work, so.
So that your 2 cents?
Yep.
All right, good. How is state of emergency?
Yo, I just got in the city and the city unlocked. It's scary, bro.
Yo.
That really affect me, man.
Huh?
That really affect me, man.
So that your 2 cents?
Yeah, that man 2 cents, that big 8 there.
All right, see. So state of emergency don't do nothing for you?
Nothing for me, I don't come back. I'm a hustler, I never get in trouble.
All right.
All right. Affect me, all right.
All right.
I know about that.
Now your 2 cents.
All right.
All right, later. What are your 2 cents for state of emergency?
Emergency?
Yeah, state of emergency, what the police then about? It affect you?
No.
All right.
It not really affect me state of emergency because I have to work to whole, and once I reach in the hours here, I'm not coming out back. That's my 2 cents.
All right. Talk to me. What are your 2 cents for the state of emergency?
Well, I have to keep in stay out of trouble and stay on the side because the man in the corner don't care anybody already.
Yeah, you don't care you though.
No, you don't care me.
State of emergency. What are your 2 cents for it?
Bah, well, they locked me up for loan simpleness.
Oh, you get locked up already for state of emergency?
Man. I just get released and I think I missed a whole day at work, brother. But my day after, they come pick me up. I had to sleep when they come pick me up. I tell them I was a hard-working young man.
Yeah, and so then let you go, car.
They just release me off of my 48. I think my boss tell me about he want to let me go and I think they'll get a sense.
Yeah. The emergency affect you, mommy?
No comment, no comment.
No comment? All right.
Brothers Abet is celebrating Super Handy Dads for the entire month of June with super handy deals that just can't be beaten. Give that super handy dad the perfect gift from our super selection like 15% off all power tools and hand tools store-wide, 15% off track car batteries, 20% off Eureka Vats, 20% off Decon Matte Emulsion, and 25% off Valspar and Dutch Boy paints. Plus, for every $50 you spend, get a chance to win $500 worth of tools for 3 super special dads. So give dad his best Father's Day gift yet from Brothers Abet. Come in or reach out to us today. Brothers Abet wishes all super handy dads a super happy Father's Day.
left this plan. I can't left this plan. Smart Belize.
Hey there, smart thinkers. We're turbocharging your mobile experience with Smart's powered up postpaid plans. Imagine a world where your data speeds flows faster than ever. Well, guess what? We've cranked up the dial and unleashed the postpaid power of Smart's lightning fast LTE data on all our postpaid plans. That's right, no speed bumps, more data. It's like having a limitless highway of data speed at your fingertips. Whether you're a lone ranger with an individual plan or a squad rolling with a group plan, everyone gets to surf, stream, and share at enhanced, full, high-quality speed. Switch to Smart's powered-up postpaid plans today and ride the wave of postpaid power. Visit any Smart showroom or smart-bz.com for details and make your mobile experience smarter and faster. Smart, bringing people together.
I know I can't left this plan. I can't left this plan.
Atlantic Bank is an institution with more than 50 years of experience in partnership with Belizeans. We have been lending to all industries. We have been investing in the growth and development of Belize. We are proud to introduce Atlantic Bank's micro, small, and medium enterprise loan program. The perfect solution to grow and enhance your small business. Let Atlantic Bank be your partner in making your small business dreams come true. Call us or visit any of our branches countrywide today to find out more about Atlantic Bank's micro, small, and medium enterprise loan program. We will talk you through your options and find the best financial fit for you and your business. Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
Make light work lighter and quicker with switch technology from Axi Power Tools. Axi Switch technology breaks the bondage of power cords and grants you the luxury of freedom and precision. Switch one battery across all your Axi line power tools effortlessly, allowing for quick and efficient work. Cut the cords. Choose efficiency with Axi Switch technology. Only at Benny's. Quality and savings.
The Office of the Prime Minister invites you to the National MSME Roadshow 2024. Join us for free workshops in marketing using AI, finance, business planning, and customer service. Connect with financial institutions for access
Vibes here on XTV, live streaming on Creme Radio. And you could go to XTV Belize on YouTube and XTV on Facebook, YaYa and Mose. For this morning, Wednesday, June 26, 2024, the phone line number is 280-3848. 280-3848.
280-5848.
Oh, last man. 280-5848. 280-5848. The number is 280-5848. Now, Carl, Mose, you were, before we had to go to 2 cents can break, you were to talk about the state of emergencies. And I want to finish because I don't think a lot of Belizeans really know what all happen when a state of emergency get enforced. For a number of people,
I think it's crazy, right? But the 2 cents calm essentially confirm everything we talk about. But straightforward with the people and say that you got a number of people whose position is that are not me. I don't worry about that. I just want to stay in my lane and stay out. You know, I don't worry about that. And then you have a situation where a young brother tell you about beyond he mentioned one of the next things then where I mention that we have had, and that's not the first time. So we have had people call into the show to say they call me and make I couldn't go to my job and then I lose my job. And so now when you not only you carry somebody and they not show up for work, but you also carry somebody, you know, with part no one employer say wait, hold up. You know there because they seize you for the state of emergency. Oh no, you're not a bad person. There are deep consequences to be taken in. And the state and say, well because they're a bad actor. But the problem with that is that we got a system in place where determines who don't a bad actor or who don't know a bad actor. That is the system of the judiciary. We abandoned the judiciary and now that power has been given solely to enforcement people to determine just based upon where they...
Good morning, caller. Thanks for calling. One moment, Mose. Caller, thanks for calling. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, brother. Talk to him. Yes.
You're saying in life, like my personal experience, I made a lot of mistakes. And I admit when I make mistakes. But when you got people in a high authority, whenever something goes wrong, they look to blame others. And they in authority, you know, that they in control. But they look every way they look to blame others and see themselves as the problem. And this is what happened to leaders in our country. They have never admit fault. And it happens for years and years. Everybody in life makes mistakes. Many a time when you think of change leadership, something not to go right, but you can't handle it, you can try somebody else. It happens many times in sports. The first person that change is who? The coach. The coach always go, you hardly see players go. But these people that lead for we country, they are the head, never accept blame. And case and point is, here you have a concert. People go to concert. You can't blame a concert to people action. So the BTV right now, a big concert they come up when they advertise 2 days. Music and food fest. So what we have to know? Postpone that because that's my cars off now. Or anybody else, any private individual they want to bring in or thing else. Your cars are flow, so we are ban all of that. And we only had a church concert. One church. You know, make no sense. Not everybody religious. In this world, you even got the churches, the mosques, all over the place. You know, to the temples, they bomb the temple. People pray to God, or people go and bomb temple. So when the commissioner talk, well, the concert and the flower of the concert, you know how to. You know how to. So where they come to know. So they go shoot for his house. So we are blame now. We are blame. Of course, you know, blame itself. I ain't shoot the house. But what caused it? So like this, the Northern Road, Philip Gorton Highway, and the Western Road, Gas Price Highway. You got some undercurrent, the city road always the broke up. You fix the surface all the time, it looks smooth and nice. But undercurrent, that's where the problem is. That's the way you have to find out where the cause is, the undercurrent. And many a times, I know when they find the surface that the problem, that the undercurrent, and that's the one you have to really, the news media have to look into. You know, this guy, young man on the super street side, and gang members, and they shoot up. No big players, big money involved. Many times, the people on the top, that the people that we have to really watch, serious, because things that happen in this country, serious things that happen in this country, and they're telling you, no, don't know, but serious things that happen, and they happen for both borders, and big things that happen, money the past, and not only illegal gun because problem, you know. Legal gun because big problem too. Legal guns, a lot of hustling, they in legal guns too because big problem too. Remember that. That's what I want to put out there.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate the reasoning.
Brother Mose, Brother Mose there, Ellie?
Yes.
Brother Mose gave Brother New York Bar a shout out to me.
Yes, sir.
New York Bar. Tell her we are Coach Street crew.
All right, actually the man is
I don't know if a young boy we work together.
Brother, Mose will talk to you. Hold on a second, Mose will talk to you.
You hear me? You could hear me, brother?
You could hear Mose?
No, I know they hear Mose. I know they hear Mose.
He said not to hear
you. All right.
Yeah, but don't get New York Bar big up. We're Coach Street crew, the man up our area. The Lord, we know as Derek Estrada, but he must be near and New York Bar.
I'm saying.
He prefer to be called.
No, you're here. West Coast Street crew to put you out on the road.
I'm going to take care. God bless you.
One love, brother. Guidance.
Yeah, man.
Yes, Mose. Go ahead.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah. So repeat the phone line, the accurate phone line against Sister YaYa.
Yes.
I don't.
280-5848. 280-5848. That's the phone number. Call.
Yeah, you're weighing upon the state of emergency, Sister YaYa.
What you say?
I said weigh in, like you got me one to talk.
Oh,
like,
but I appreciate listening.
You act like you did do an interview.
No.
At WB.
No, listen, Mose, right? We have one conversation. Yet a part of being an effective communicator that when you listen to somebody, we have one different point of view, more info. I don't have no. For me, and indeed the 2 cents scam was well timed. It's very important for we really get a fullness of what the state of emergency mean and what it mean for everybody. They're not just the bad actors, what it mean for everybody in a particular zone of area, that your constitutional rights get put on pause. Then anybody could get picked up for any reason because you're in the state of emergency zone. So for a number of people, it's a human rights violation. When you go look upon the law, then tell her under what circumstances you could have one state of emergency. Who decide that there was state of emergency? I know the Governor General have to sign off. Like the Governor General really sign off on that and just tell she, like, yeah, this is what we need to sign off on. So and not because I know anything, I gonna look for say what a state of emergency, and I think maybe in a 2019 Audrey Matura made one really detailed story in Mandala about state of emergency and shared what some of her concerns were at the time. I think they're still valid. So, because you're hearing a number of people, they support state of emergency, and they don't know what it means for everybody, and it really, for working class people, I can feel for that brother just now. You know, this is no time, people don't know to make one living wage, just no time for you to lose your job, and then people look upon you one kind of way, because they think you're associated in some way, when not just because, especially for the black brother, identifiable black brother, it's discrimination. So I know, and I got to do some research on Nayib Bukele, the president of Salvador. When I said the thing there, Mose, I said, Me don't know if me want to share anything from the air because it's real. And I never forget Carla. Good morning, Carla. Thanks for calling.
Yes, good morning.
Morning, tell me.
It seems like nothing will work, I believe. SOE not work, hanging not work. It seems like nothing will work, I believe. And everything where Chester come up with, everybody knock it down. Where Karim Musa the door? When he said about it, we want to know, people out there want to know. A lot of people comment on Chester situation last night. Everybody said bring Bukele style. So but they knocked that down to correct. You knocked that down too.
What you know about Bukele, brother? I'm going to ask you so you can enlighten me. What you know about Bukele?
What work? The Prime Minister gone to Salvador the other day. Where he gone for? I guess he gone to the other things. Not worry about what happened here. What will work? Because it seems to me like nothing will work. Something has to work in this country.
So I'm asking you the question. I had two questions to ask. One, if you think that it compelled by self, they come up with the solution for crime, you think that he wanted to come up with all the solution? Because that wouldn't be true. That are the compel they come up with them.
The compel not supposed to come up with that.
I agree.
What we're saying is we're going to hear nothing from the senior.
Okay, you're saying you want to hear from the Minister of Police, you want to hear from the Prime Minister as it relates to crime is what you're saying.
Yes, you want to hear from the Prime Minister
One moment, Carla. What you said was?
I'm interested to hear how the brother stand on the Bukele approach.
Right.
If he now wants to support that or he.
Okay.
You know,
Mose asked if you support the Bukele approach or if you don't support it.
100.
Okay.
I support that 100.
Okay, so I have a question for you. What do you know about the Bukele approach?
When I listened to most of Bukele interview, first thing, Salvador, the economy, never good. The man said the first thing we have to do, peace. He said, so you fix anything, you need peace in your country. And that's exactly what the man got for. The man said that the bad actors, they intertwine wrong the citizens, and he pray about it, and that.
Anything else?
Yeah, but just put that out there, make me get serious for any boy. Because the handful not correct.
Okay, brother.
Thank you.
I hear your one love.
So, give thanks to the brother sharing and respect to having the courage for state for him belief, even though I think he must be.
We have another caller. Caller, thanks for calling. Go ahead.
Morning.
Morning. Talk to him.
It seems like all of us that hear the Bukele approach. It seems that even some of us discriminate Bukele. But the real reason is that people haven't come to understand that the gangs in El Salvador had joined with the gangs and started to violate the residents, the productive citizens. They started to kill without remorse. It had started here already. You thought we all talk about human rights. Where's the human rights for Mr. Businessman down the cemetery and the other one on Vernon Street and all the rest of business people that were executed? Where's the human rights for them? But what? We all discriminate. Bukele, oh, he came down too rash. He came down with the iron hammer.
Let me ask a question.
Sure, go ahead.
What do you know about the Bukele approach?
The Bukele approach is saving millions of citizens' lives.
Okay, well, I'm asking you,
citizens.
what do you know about it? Other than state of emergency, what else has Bukele and his government been known to do? How did I get you? I ask you?
They have done so much. They have been growth in tourism, in infrastructure, in the people have benefit in the pantry. If you all, I don't know what to call it in their term, but what we call pantry, he has this, the poor, he has this, millions of Salvadorians.
So make I ask you, other than you hearing maybe Bukele saying this itself, where do you get objective reports on the Bukele administration, other than listening to Bukele himself? Where else do you get the information from?
Well, we are not there to, and I am not a follower of their government or their state. I am here in Belize, so I wouldn't know much of that, but all I know is what you can see and what is reported in the other world news.
Okay. That's fair. That's fair. Mose, you want to say something?
So I just...
Okay. Thanks for calling, caller. I think we're going to break the replay. Caller, thanks for calling in.
Thank you.
One love.
I want to just express that I always appreciate people will have the courage for calling and disagree, because you become enlightened by disagreement when people have the courage to say how they feel. And we made express yesterday, and I'm going to say to you, Sister YaYa, that trust me, I know that Bukele, because this are not only believes, right, it happened, he is being looked at as some kind of hero, and indeed undeniably, even in a country, he's extremely popular. I imagine we part in most the communities we got migrant Salvadorians here with us, that they have a positive view of Bukele, and because of what people hear, and I told you that while no media has been sharing Bukele's story, at least
1 second, Mose. Caller, thanks for calling. Go ahead.
Good morning.
Morning. Talk to me.
Yeah, this is YaYa Mose.
Yes, YaYa Mose. Tell me how your morning to go.
Good. I recall from Dangriga. I not listen to crime from since I retired for the BDS 10 years ago. I'm glad it's refreshing to hear now again.
Respect, brother.
Yeah, I'm calling about this state of emergency. Even when I'm in the BDF, I'm not supportive of it. I have never been in support of it. I think I agree with you that it's a full blanket or net approach, the Gilnet approach, and he always only the fester more anger. So I may expect to hear maybe Mose or want to offer some kind of solution, but let me tell you something that would definitely work. And before I get to that though, let me say that there is no way you could cure this situation now without giving up part of your freedoms and some of your constitutional rights. So you either want to give up some now, or you want to give up your life soon. The one out of the two. And when you're done dead, you still don't need the constitutional rights because you are dead. This shooting on the commissioner's house, it is a long thing coming. I expected this a long time ago. And I expect they might kill a politician in Belize soon. This is the way he can reach, and it can be because the citizens of Belize have financed this. We pay for that LIU. We put money in them by hands. Your finance is your power. And then Bali got free money, so they invested in their craft. If you give Dion Macaulay money, he going to buy football gears. You give gunman money, he going to buy weapons of war. So now, the only solution to this, that for have one witness that cannot be intimidated. Because if you have witness for what a court, they know that they try to intimidate the commissioner of police. You need one witness that cannot be intimidated. What we do wrong is that we have one corrupt society. We go into the corrupt society to recruit one police service. So how you have a police service of corrupt people, then you have the same corrupt society, they provide the political leaders, so then you have corrupt political leadership. Now you want to cure all of that. So how you cure all of that? You have to put eyes in the sky. Simple as that. You get drone technology for maybe 10 or 20 years because it's a whole generational issue. It might be as much as a 30-year plan. You have to get drones in the air, and people who are not corruptible in Belize flying those drones from maybe middle of Nevada or somewhere, where the thing they feed into a database at Taiwan, it has to be one big approach. You feed into a database at Taiwan, you small the police force, so you don't have only corrupt people in there, and you prosecute these killers. That's the only way, and I would have waited for hear some kind of counter narrative to that.
Respect, brother. I appreciate that break time now, but that's a good one when I follow up on it after the break. Thanks for the call.
Yes, sir.
That's different, Mose. All right, we have to go to break. It's 8 o'clock. Mose, just hold a thought. It's 8 o'clock. Break time.
St. Catherine has changed the game.
We've gone cashless with DigiWallet.
Now grabbing a bite in the cafeteria is a whole new experience.
Who needs cash? We just pay with DigiWallet.
And all our accounts are linked directly to our ID cards. It's quick, safe, and super easy. Download and try DigiWallet today. Set trends. Keep it cashless with DigiWallet.
Let us help you to empower your school with DigiWallet. Streamline payments, elevate efficiency.
Power on with confidence. Design Depot brings you an attractive selection of GE appliances, including microwaves, washers, dryers, refrigerators, dishwashers, countertop appliances, and more. We understand the importance of appliances that not only endure, but also excel in performance. As your trusted GE USA authorized dealer, we stand for reliability and performance, ensuring that you can power on with confidence. Visit us today and power on with efficient, reliable, and energy-saving solutions with GE appliances from Design Depot.
Design Depot, all in one place.
Let's take a journey through the core functions of the Social Security Board. It all starts with registering as an insured person, employer, or self-employed individual. Sign up for a portal account to manage your Social Security information online. Just provide accurate information and click Create. This will give you access to a range of services and benefits. Next, your contribution, along with investments and other income, are collected and distributed into 3 funds. This ensures that the SSB fund is securely utilized to support various benefit programs. The SSB is committed to providing essential benefits such as sickness, maternity, injury, and pension. These benefits are paid out to eligible individuals as a part of the Social Security coverage. We help you navigate through life's challenges with financial security. Annual surplus accumulates to grow the fund each year. This surplus is invested into various industries, contributing to the growth and development of our nation. With each passing year, the fund continues to grow due to the annual surplus and interest revenue earned from prudent investments. This surplus, along with reserves, helps to bolster the SSB fund and provide a safety net for those in need. We've arrived at the end of our journey to better understanding how the SSB works. We remain committed to serving you and building a secure future for all Belizeans.
Prescription. What are the best place we go? Freetown Drugstore. Bam City. When the drugstore then close up the night and on Sunday and holidays, which one open? Freetown Drugstore. Bam City. When you need somebody to talk to about your medication, who you turn to? Bam City.
We have been serving the general public for more than 30 years with fast, professional, and efficient services. We will continue doing so with honesty, integrity, and consistency.
This is the loyal Freetown Drugstore crew, always happily serving the general public at 28 Freetown Road, Belize City. Telephone 223-2876.
Welcome back to Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes for this morning, Wednesday, June 26, 2024. YaYa and Mose, the number is 280-3848. Somebody asked me for be very clear. 380-5848. I tell you, I will learn it one of these days. 280-5848. 280-5848. 280-5848, that is the number. Mose, for some people, I have to be very clear. The Roaring Creek police station got fired upon about 3 days ago, is what the news report said. Last night, the Commissioner of Police home in Belmopan was fired upon. Two separate things happened at separate times. Now, Mose, the callers and sure Carlene, I give you a mouthful.
Yeah, but before I do that, Marisol has shared with me a release coming from the commissioner. Well, I guess one is a post and then one is a release. But he said, "Good night. A short while ago, I was informed by my son that shots were fired at my house in Bamapan. I've seen a number of persons sharing the information on social media, and I continue to receive a number of calls and messages from persons checking on my well-being. I can confirm that I am okay. I just arrived in New York, where I'll be attending the UN Chiefs of Police Conference. I'm therefore okay, and my son, who is at home, is also okay. The act of shooting at my home is a clear example why, as a society, we cannot go easy on these criminals who believe that they can run our streets and keep our law-abiding citizens hostage with impunity. My mandate as the Commissioner of Police remains clear, and that is to keep the people of our country safe. This is even my own safety is at risk. I therefore will not be perturbed by the coward acts of those who committed this reprehensible act. The police are investigating and will do everything within our power to find those responsible and bring them to justice. Thanks to all those who called or text to make sure that I'm okay. God is good and He continues to be my strength and guide." I want to see if that is different from the press release. Okay, so there is a press release from the Belize Police Department. The Belize Police Department expresses utmost concern and condemnation following a targeted shooting incident at the residence of the Commissioner of Police, Chester Williams. The incident occurred on Tuesday, June 25th, 2024 at approximately 9:19 p.m. in the Intelco Hill area of Las Flores, Belmopan City. While Commissioner Williams was fortunately not present, the brazen act targeted his home where his 22-year-old son was at the time. Initial indications indicate that two motorcycles, each carrying two individuals, unleashed gunfire at the residence, prompting a swift response from law enforcement. The Belize Police Department has initiated a thorough investigation into this appalling act of violence. As of now, one suspect is in custody, and efforts are ongoing to locate 3 additional individuals believed to be involved. Commissioner of Police Chester Williams underscores that such criminal action will not be tolerated, and effort will be made to ensure the safety and security of all residents. The department urges anyone with relevant information to come forward and assist in bringing those responsible to justice. The Belize Police Department remains resolute in its commitment to safeguarding our communities and upholding law and order. Together we stand against crime and stand with our communities for a safer Belize. Yeah. Thanks, Marisol, for sharing.
Thanks, Marisol. Thanks, Mose, for that information. And yes, that's where we're at.
I wanted to say to the brother in response that, and I think we share the same reaction. Whether I agree with what all you were saying, what I really rate is that I can gather from your ideas and what you contributed that you have given great thought to this. And I guess he mentioned that he served in the BDF.
Yes.
And so yeah, give thanks to your contribution. We really you give a thing to think about. Obviously, what we were looking at, and we, just yesterday we had this conversation, Sister YaYa and myself, where I was saying to her that I'm sure that the Bukele approach, even though no media house in town is really showcasing it, is being heard, is being read about, is
One moment,
being listened to.
Caller, thanks for calling. Go ahead. Morning. Talk to me.
while I partly agree with not on this video, I partly agree with that video from Carla, but I don't completely agree with her. I think that payment to some gang members is good because crimes are fueled by necessity. Although we must train members to reform and to produce, because we should give a man fish until he can learn to fish. That's all I want to say for right now.
Thanks for calling. Appreciate it. Thanks. 280-5848. 280-5848. Go ahead, Mose.
Yes, man. So I just want to quickly make the point, because obviously I'm happy about the fact that this morning belonged to the callers. Yeah, so I feel that what we're experiencing is the fact that people are listening. We're getting, at least anecdotally, we're not doing a survey, but just listening to the callers, you're getting a sense that, yeah, the brother actually, he listened to the whole Bukele interview. Because I sit down and I listen to the Bukele interview. Not because I'm a fanboy of Bukele, but you have to inform yourself as, okay, make I hear what this brother had to say and what he talk about. So I did watch the interview that Tucker Carlson did. I do read up about Bukele. He have for them praises, read everything where they go on, whatever, blah, 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 blah. And I figure, okay, just as I am watching this, you have people where take away, the man crush crime. I want to say as well, if you could go back and find some of the earlier things I've said about the state of emergency, is the very first state of emergency, I believe, happened during the pandemic. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong. It could have been during the pandemic, but I remember a significant one that happened during the pandemic. And people said, well, so we want to say about the state of emergency, but people can't deny the fact that when we do the state of emergency, gunshots stop. And I responded to that position by saying, when you take antibiotics, when you take antibiotics, they have to continually make new antibiotics because the body adjusts to it. And when I say the body, but the organisms where the antibiotics supposed to try kill the bacteria, they adapt. So you put out a state of emergency in a brand new thing, and you lock up people and whatever, and you have the impact because nobody know the call out for me, and it appears to be, whoa, this is the perfect thing. But then eventually, your state of emergency, by the time we reach the last rendition of the state of emergency, you could look statistically and say, compared to the first state of emergency, that the so-called impact upon shootings and so had been reduced when compared to the first time you do it. Now the next time you do it after that one, it result now with the kind of response where we say no, we part somebody, and we don't got no proof that this is the case, but we see the correlation. We don't know the causation. We don't know that the actual thing will cause it, but we know that the timing of it. It seems like a logical suspicion that the shooting up of which we're not here supporting or encouraging. We just state the facts. The shooting of the commissioner's house is related to now your SOE. So now you're seeing and this are my response to Bukele, and I think it can take a little longer to manifest itself. But the thing that Bukele has done is to say, well, if I physically take everybody, and we know about the abuse. I mean, for you and I, we have read, we know that there is another side to this. And anybody will not think that, then I think then it'd be illogical. When power when power is given carte blanche, nowhere ever you don't have abuse. That's just what it is. You have an authoritarian, you got somebody who got the ultimate boss, you don't have to go to court, you don't have to do all of that. And make human beings just pan their own with all the power decide who going to jail and who not going to jail. That's a recipe where you can no way prevent significant abuse and people getting where you would have said then and even made a bad actor. But that aside, in my view, the conditions we create the marginalized class in El Salvador not change. The conditions we deal with, where the conditions will happen at the, and I want to give Bukele one credit. One credit I want to give Bukele. I don't know how serious it's serious, I don't know if it has happened. But he did hold a press conference, and I think maybe it would have been in their house where he said, we will now conduct an investigation on everybody within our government. I don't know if you know that, but he said he went. That seems to be with he say going no with the people in the cabinet, the very people in the cabinet. He say I investigate. He said they shouldn't have anything to worry about because of course none of them are corrupt, so they shouldn't have a problem. But all of them will be investigated. Now I don't know if that has happened or what, but the point is that the conditions at the higher level of the society, when they interact with the street level, the conditions at the higher level of society when we make narcotics trade possible and a dominant thing in El Salvador still remain intact. So what you have done is just to say the most visual manifestation of what is wrong with our society, the most visual manifestation of things going wrong, the bad acting in the streets, we have dealt with, so now we have fixed our society. And I would argue you can't fix no society. They start out with the vulnerable sufferers. You don't fix no society that way there. You want to fix a society coming from dealing with what's happening at the top, and then you come down. That's my opinion and my position. And as long as the conditions are favorable, and once the conditions remain as they is, once status quo remains, once the society is so wired for
One
sure
second,
that
Mose.
you have.
Thanks for calling, caller. Go ahead. Caller, good morning. Make sure you raise your TV lowered.
I would forgive you because you said you do not stay and listen to the radio or the news from El Salvador, but to let you know that there is due process and justice to each and every member of gang arrested, number one. The other part that you said that about the higher up man receiving the international news, tons of cocaine seized and burnt. And the other one, yes indeed, they are looking in and out of officials that are in power and out of power, and investigating them properly.
Thank you, caller.
I just want to tell that caller, the previous callers, and people out there, I am very conscious that there is a pro Bukele sentiment, and I understand, but as Sister YaYa has maintained, and as I continue to do, even though I have my sentiments towards it, even though I still want to sit down and read or listen to poor Bukele stuff, because I want to make sure that my position can stand in the face of every aspect of what's taking place in Salvador. But what we have to caution is that before you become locked into one point of view, make sure that you're doing the same thing and that you are finding out on the ground the other side of what is taking place. And then when you know that and you still say, well, listen, that's a that's an acceptable cost to pay, that's an acceptable collateral damage. That's your right as a human being to decide that. I can't decide that for you. I could just say based upon my worldview and the things and my values, I can't accept that worthwhile collateral damage. The way I look is that what you're creating is you're creating a king, and then even again, we don't go through with part human beings realize that when you create one king or one queen with that kind of power, that after a while, that power they come back against you, even when at one point you may see it as the working in your favor. So I hear the brother, respect. He seems convinced that Bukele is the boy. I, with respect, disagree that Bukele approach and the lane where we should go down. But right now, that the boy, again, and only believes, around the world, Sister YaYa, that boy they get hero treatment, and I look like I don't know, anybody calling yet where they against Bukele?
No, I just one caller come in right now. We have to go to break in at 6 minutes. It'll rain hard, I believe, city. Caller, thanks for holding. Go ahead. Caller. Yeah, morning. Morning.
Yes, man. Greetings.
Morning. Yes, brother. Go ahead.
Well, yes. All right, yeah. Sorry to disappoint you, but I don't want to disappoint Bukele as much as I want to say that the efforts thus far, and this goes way back to the 1990s, I can recall when we were treating with this gun issue from the very beginning. I can recall that we had did some sessions in Virgile, where we said, let us try what I'm calling the process dialogue with these criminals and gang elements. I can recall using that strategy. The former Prime Minister had been attending, I believe, was Marin and one of his compatriots in the Caribbean, and he cut that visit short to come back to dialogue with the gang elements. This has become a huge problem, but I'm most comfortable, doing the Bukele script. And essentially, this is what Bukele was saying. When you look at this thing, it's like 70,000 strong in terms of the gang element and the criminal element. And I don't know that anybody believes has actually done the arithmetic of the sort of gang presence in Belize, and I mean Belize country, but particularly Belize city, which is the population center and where I think the majority of the problem lies. I believe that we have tried a hardcore approach. I was speaking to one of my colleagues perhaps about a couple weeks ago, and he was explaining to me that one of the gang initiatives, and I don't know what that was, which part, was such that they had settled some of the gang elements on St. George's Key, essentially, a little bit behind St. George's Key. I'm acquainted with the geography there. And essentially, these boys were running drugs. And so, what I want to say is that this is organized crime. This is organized crime. It is big. This is big. This is criminal economy. There's a criminal economy that's taken hold in this country. I don't think that anybody would disagree that there's a shortage of gun and bullets. And trust me, I don't know what the statistics are in terms of how much of these guns might be legal or illegal, but what I will tell you is that there are parties, there are companies involved that can go and buy any amount of bullets. And so it's not just guns, but bullets. And that is how organized crime works. I believe yesterday I was watching a feature on the news where the commissioner, and I thought it was kind of tongue-in-cheek, talking about, I don't think it was the word random, but in terms of shooting over the police station. But I think he was, to use the kind of Belize expression, just kind of start soaking the whole thing. No, it wasn't like a personal thing between the shooter and the and the police officer that was on duty. We want to get to the bottom of this. I think that he was being politically correct, or attempting to be politically correct. But, you know, I think it was Sir Winston Churchill who basically said that if you pet a crocodile and you defeat that crocodile, at some point that crocodile will eat you. It is the nature of the beast. And this is the beast that we have to deal with in the beast. Obviously,
one moment, George. One moment, George. Yes, Mose?
So let me just...
1 second, George. Mose was saying something. I don't know if you can hear Mose. Go ahead, Mose.
Can you hear me, George?
George, can you hear Mose? George.
I guess I...
Can you hear Mose?
I don't hear Mose, sister.
No, he's not hearing you.
The conversation, I don't hear Mose.
He's not hearing you, Mose. What were you saying, Mose? I'll just... Hold on a sec, George. Go ahead, Mose.
I think it's best for me to respond to George when he's off here.
Yes, George.
Well, all right. I know you said you wanted to go to break, but you know, the point is that I believe every situation has its own script and its own solution. And I would be the last one to say, let us go Bukele. You have to. I think that we have done a fair amount of analysis on the belief scenario. We have tried Dr. Gale, well, to some extent, Dr. Gale himself, people got frustrated. We have tried what I'm calling the approach altering dialogue. And if you look at it over time, if you look at the situation over the last 20 years, if this was a project and you were looking at indicators of progress, I believe that we have been on a retrograde slide. It has gotten worse. And so the question becomes, do you continue to go down the status quo route, or do you try something else? And philosophically, I would say anything but the current strategy. Anything but the current strategy.
Okay.
Let us go to something that has an iron fist.
George?
You can put it in you can touch the iron fist, obviously, in some measure philosophically, of a velvet glove. But the South Korea approach is not working, it has not worked, and it will never work.
Okay, George, thanks. I have forgot a break, but I'll finish this reasoning for the next side of the break. Thanks for the call.
Yeah.
Mose, we have to go to a break. When you come back, we can get your 2 cents. Break time.
The Office of the Prime Minister invites you to the National MSME Roadshow 2024. Join us for free workshops in marketing using AI, finance, business planning, and customer service. Connect with financial institutions for access to finance opportunities, meet with key government agencies, and showcase your business at the Roadshow Expo in an effort to get more locals to buy Belizean. We will be in Orange Walk Town, June 13th to the 15th, PG, June 27th to the 29th, Corozal, July 11th to the 13th, Benke, July 25th to the 27th, San Pedro, August 15th to the 17th, Key Cocker, August 23rd to the 24th, Pelmopan, August 29th to the 31st, Hopkins, September 13th to the 14th, San Ignacio, September 26th to the 28th, Angriga, October 10th to the 12th, Placentia, October 18th to the 19th, and Belize City, October 24th to the 26th. Sign up today for the National MSME Roadshow. For more information, follow us on Facebook at Beltrade or call us at 880-3737. Sign up today for the National MSME Roadshow. Let's get your business on the road.
Nando's Wholesale is your market leader in Belize's wholesale industry when it comes to high-quality products at the most reasonable and competitive prices. With over 40 years in the wholesale business, Nando's Wholesale embraces the partnership of the hotel industry in Belize by providing world-renowned brands in wines, seasonings, condiments, and cleaners in industrial sizes, as well as small and large kitchen appliances and equipment. Nando's also takes pride in providing one of the quietest and most durable air conditioning systems in Belize with technical support and spare parts. Nando's Wholesale. Professional, reliable, effective, and prompt. Nando's Wholesale. always delivers. Visit us at www.nandos.bz or send an email to nandos@nandos.bz. Or even better yet, give us a call today at 222-500 or 280-8080 to speak to one of our sales representatives today.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
Belize.
Welcome back to Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes with Mose and YaYa. Started out this morning about the shooting at the Kumpul house in Belmopan last night. He sent out a press release, acknowledged on Facebook. He appreciated people's interest. We've moved into quite a bulk of the morning. We've been talking about crime in Belize, the escalation, who the players may be, what the solutions may be, and people have been calling in consistently. Our numbers are 280-5848. And right now, more of the callers are supporting Nayib Bukele's approach to crime in Salvador. And Mose, you know, you take a lot of self-control for make I just hush up and listen. But why you finish say what you meant to say?
Well, I don't know if it's not about shut up and listen. I think you can't just moderate the conversation. Cause I feel like you're the moderator.
The reason why it really important
I know,
from
sister,
other people's point of view.
But we are being, even when what somebody is saying is something that is disagree with where your own conviction, there is still value because we are being informed. We are being informed that, you know, like, yo, our people, and not because they are bad or anything like that, look at the situation and they have come to a conclusion that they favor Bukele. And again, a part of that has to do with the fact that these conversations have not happened. We have not been confronting the fact, you know, that this is real, that people want to look upon this, the people have access to this, and people have started to conclude that this is a way to work. But I wanted to respond to George by saying that we are now the first country in the world to have organized crime. One of the most epic eras in America, that the era of organized crime, where it reached a point where 90% of most research and books that have been written about the killing of JFK, the President of the United States of America, the majority of research that has been done that are not aligned with any kind of single gunman theory or what was done points to the fact that the organized crime was a part of an entire coalition effort to kill the President of the United States of America. When we say organized crime, we use that term, we talk about the quote bad people.
We have a calm.
I just want to finish this point.
All right.
Because we don't got a lot of time. I want to finish this point that you have a situation where they reached that level. Remember and understand why they had a problem with the president at the time. They had a problem because organized crime had signed had an agreement with the father of the president when he was a candidate, and were instrumental in getting that president elected in a very close election. They were instrumental, and they were promised certain things. They were very instrumental in Chicago. You go and you read and you go and you learn. Just imagine the heights that it reached. Just imagine how powerful they were. That they were part of a pact that got a president of the United States of America elected, and then had to deal with the fact that then that president and his brother, especially his brother, started a campaign against them. They were so powerful, again, based on everything that has been written, that they had no less than the director of the FBI compromised to the point that he would deny their existence. So I'm speaking to at the heights. This is the level of power they had. 2024, they exist still, but they've been pushed down, tremendously weakened, majority of their leadership incarcerated and in jail for a very long time. And the way it was done is that their techniques and their laws, you can go and read it, they created the RICO charges, they created the RICO legislation via technology, surveillance, high-level investigative capacity. They were able to bring organized crime down to the level that it exists in 2024. So, if we want to look at want to inform ourselves, you have to inform ourselves that we are not the first country that has, and indeed we have organized crime, but we have to understand the nature of that. And if you look at what we are talking about here today, I don't even have to get into the angle, Sister YaYa, I'm sure you have a lot to say on this, but just from the standpoint of just for history, you could look to history and say how things go and how power connects with organized crime and how the games are played. But go to the caller. I want to thank the caller for being patient. I really wanted to finish the call. Okay, but my apologies for that. I really didn't.
No, you needed to. We have a caller. Caller, thanks for calling. Go ahead.
Good morning, YaYa.
Morning.
I think they took too long to try and straighten the problem. Now the problem got out of hand. The good, the suffer for the bad. Now, I had a part of the Androin family from Gales Point, and the rest of the families from Mullins River, the Meher family. Well, anyway, when they killed my little cousin who was a teacher, up to now that still bothers me. It still bothers me that I can't rest in peace, and I don't know who's next. So I just think when you have one tree where to put out some bad thorns and prickle, you have to change the stock, the budwood, and try and reverse what's bad and try and make it good. So the caller would call and say Bukele, and I think it's a good approach because this seems like something where we'll never stop, where the innocent keep getting killed, and your family member left in a stress, you know? So we have to try something new. Now that they shoot up the commissioner house, that show me they don't have no regards to human life or whosoever. They just want to run free. This sounds like something what is happening in Mexico, you know, and we have to put a stop to it. That's just my 2 cents.
Thanks, caller. Thanks for calling. I'll pause the calling because I know I have another break come up, and I want to have an opportunity for share. And Mose, they hold me accountable, and I'm being intentional for be quiet and give other people the space for hear other people's position. At the young age of 58 years old, I've come to the conclusion that I prefer have conversation with reasonable people. You know, we don't have to agree, but I need you to be reasonable. So for me, what that means is that you have control of your emotions. You're able to listen to somebody 100% present. You're not talking in your head while the person talk. Especially when the person have one position was different from yours. No judgment, you listen. You think and you ask questions. You not to try convince nobody or nothing, and nobody not to try convince you or nothing. And so if I get the indication, and I don't master it yet, so I could be unreasonable at times, but if I get the indication in having a conversation with someone that they're not a reasonable person, and that they have no conversation, because the point of the conversation is to understand what a person wants to share with me, and I hope that the person wants to understand what they share with me, with the intention that we will be better beings, to be a better world. Or other than that, we don't need for link. So I keep saying to people over and over again. So I have the mindset that first off, I don't know everything. And the more I learn, the more I realize I don't know. So I said to Belizean people, keeping an open mind, right? We not dead at Salvador. So we have to live on level of faith because we not dead at Salvador. 2, where you get your news from, who the people are that are delivering the news is absolutely important. Now I know a lot of people that in day-to-day, they don't have time for all of that. But that the West Sunday Review Facebook page was about. So I take the time yesterday and I tell people, you go get on a pen and paper and you come back and listen later. But I said to people, and that's why I ask people to call, where do you get your news from and what do you know about the Bukele approach? Because I'm convinced that if people really knew what the Bukele approach was, there's a slim chance they would accept it. And so this Sunday and Sunday Review, I haven't confirmed yet, I had to make sure I go get credible people who know the Bukele approach for share. So I had to say, if you don't want them people say, oh, you know what, and they said that true, I don't have time for now. My credibility is at stake, always at stake, for I find credible people who dedicate their life to this work. So I want to give you some sources where you go check for yourself. Then I meet the so, and when I tell you the sources, there are 2 brothers who are, my dream would be to have these brothers, but I know their lives are in danger. And the brothers are Carlos Martinez and Oscar Martinez. They are Salvadorian journalists who've had to, they opened one online media house. They had to relocate to Costa Rica because their lives are in danger. But this is what they did at the get-go because that's how I feel when I see it, right? The online source is called El Faro, E-L-F-A-R-O. I think it means lighthouse in English. And this particular article is from Sunday, September 6, 2020. It reads, Bukele has been negotiating with MS-13 for a reduction in homicides and electoral support. In this one story, and there are several, they have the evidence. So that not year is so. I was concerned about even having the conversation publicly because even though we need to have the conversation, Mose a couple of years ago had a conversation and his life was threatened. Then throw a Molotov cocktail, fire a gunshot at their house. So there are not light conversations to have. But it's said to Belizean people, the more knowledge you have, the more you think for yourself, the more you could contribute in a meaningful way in our conversations. And when you hear especially political leaders talk, you realize how much they do not know or do not care to know. So El Faro, the one source. And that El Faro source, like I said, was from September 6, 2020. You could even look for a mainstream source, and this one was from out of Los Angeles Times, and it's dated June 9, 2022, and they have one picture of the two brothers. It says, as El Salvador's president tries to silence free press, journalist brothers expose his ties to street gang. There's one I think it's from the, I think it was a policy. Where did I put that one? Because I wanted to give you all, yesterday I gave you 3 sources, and I wanted to make sure that I gave you an additional source today. I cannot put my hand on this one right now, but it's important that you, here you go. It's the Chicago Policy Review. It's dated May 1st, 2024. And why I like this one, that because it gives statistics. So it said, from gang rule to iron fist, questioning progress in Bukele's El Salvador. So all I'm asking Belizean people to do, all I'm asking them to do, is not only accept mainstream news. That are like the worst news source that a regular mainstream, that are the worst. You look for alternative news source that are credible, that have been vetted, and you look for consistency. So you could listen to Bukele if you want, and then you could go listen to some of the other sources I cited, and then you think for yourself. And what Mose and others shared today as it relates to organized crime in Belize. I read and I said this one last thing and I go in. The Chicago Policy Review. One of the things that, and because we just don't know, right? They're talking about gangs from Salvador. They're talking about the gangs have forged ties with the Mexico's major cartels, and they name them. But this is the part where get me say, now remember, the top of the gangs of Salvador, and then in the top of the connection to Mexico's major cartels. They separately have an estimated 30,000 foot soldiers dispersed across Central America, Mexico, and the United States, which illustrates the extent of their influence over a vast geographic area. So when we start out the conversation this morning, I said to Mose, but Mose, the crime is not only escalating, and they're beyond Belize City, that different kind of crime. So then, in natural, for I asked and I did research, that there are just Belizean people. And then Mose said, well, you know, you have people that come from other places, people that pass through, you have Belizeans. And in listening to the conversation being broadened about organized crime, the climate has changed in Belize completely. So we have, and it was Sister Sandra Coe actually who really bring it to my attention, how organized, I would say they're more organized than the country of Belize is in how we operate as a state. They're more organized than the state. So what does a country like ours, with leaders who don't seem to have one growth mindset, they have one fixed mindset, how do you respond to organized crime that then tentacles seem, whether we recognize it or not, because we like talk about it, what I call it about the economy, there's something that not the mainstream economy, there's another economy that really buffer.
Parallel economy? The
parallel economy. When we talk about the parallel, the informal economy. When we talk about the informal economy, that will really buffer the formal economy. What that means is that dirty money, when they read them budget and so now this is the reality of the informal economy. But indeed, we don't have them kind of conversations. It is dangerous conversations to have, especially in the airspace, but it's a needed one. What else I got to say, Mose? I don't say what I got to say.
No, give thanks. I think it's very difficult to get into. It's a broad conversation, and appreciate the people who contributed to it. You know, it informs me that, and it's not surprising, but it informs me, even though again it's not a poll, it's not some scientific poll, but I feel very confident that it does confirm that there's a significant lean towards Bukele's approach, and if that is the case, that is the case. What we find our duty to be is to do our best to make sure that whatever our position is, it's based on the best available truth rather than the most convenient propaganda. So let us know everything we are supposed to know. Let us know all parts of anything that we are embracing, and if we are okay with that, if we are okay with the truth of it, the fullness of it, then our position is an informed one. And you know, when somebody knows everything and then they accept this is what I want, then that's what they want. But if it is that they think they know what it is they're getting and that they want, but they don't really know what it is, then that's a responsibility as people in the business of information to do our best to ensure that that information comes out. And I can't impose a position on anybody. I can and I will and I always am prepared to express my position, my opinion on the matter, where I stand. Now that I will do. And again, to be in a space where we have kind of had this very challenging conversation, it's a difficult morning, but Belizeans, you cannot escape how vulnerable you are and how vulnerable it makes any and every citizen feel to know that last night the commissioner's home was shut up. Now on Facebook there is shared with me just now, apparently there was a shooting of a security guard at St. Vernon. He was killed at the Piers this morning. That's just breaking. And so people, when they feel vulnerable, when they become scared, they're going to look for, they want anything at that point in time to take away that feeling that they are vulnerable and that something bad can happen to them. For me, I have existed with a consciousness that I am in a society that if somebody becomes displeased with me on a personal level for whatever reason, all they need to do is maybe to find $2,000, $2,500 and approach the right persons, and no matter what those persons might think about me, they might think I cool or think that I am an okay dude, whatever, but for $2,000 to $2,500, I will be taken care of. I exist in that space. I am always conscious of the space, about my own vulnerability, even as whatever everybody know, and my mouth up on radio and on TV, it doesn't matter. The space I exist in is that one, for a very minimum sum, there are operators who that's the business that they do. You will be scratched, and unfortunately, again, exist in a space where there will be very unlikely accountability for that. I accept that is my space. So the positions I express are not expressed because I have a view that somehow I am outside of the realm of being, or any of my family members or friends, or that's not the experience, or that's not my judgment. I will say this finally, Sister YaYa, that the history of the 35 year history of street violence in our community, the people who have paid the largest price are the very people, are the same families and the same communities who will carry the burden, and who carry the burden of the SOE. Let that sink in. That it is the very communities, the very families who have had to deal with the disproportionately burden of violence and bloodshed. The ones who have buried, the ones who have lost, the ones whose sons and brothers and fathers have gone, have been scratched. They are the very families who must now, these are the very communities who must now shoulder and who do the shouldering of the taking away of the constitutional rights to have the SOE. That is the reality of it.
Respect, and we have to go to a break, and I'm thankful that you mentioned that, because I want to make sure before the show ends that it's very clear that we are very aware of the families who have had their loved ones taken away from them violently, innocently, the impact it has had on their families, their children for generations. And my position is, when I just look upon Belize Central Prison, the majority of those people are African descendants, specialized as black people, for we communities. Break time.
Belize!
Here's how to be a part of Benny's Homecation in 3 easy steps. First, download the B-Bucks app and sign up to be eligible. It's fast and easy. Then, shop at any Benny's location or Benny's entity. Remember to choose products from our monthly Homecation jackpot categories to earn entries. Now you can earn B-Bucks with purchases made and be a part of the Benny's Homecation jackpot for a chance to win the $10,000 grand prize in December. Win the ultimate Homecation with Benny's, quality and savings.
9. Time for close the shop. We want to thank the security guard, Brother Shane Flowers. In Creme Radio, we have Larry G. In XTV Studio, we have the Master Chief Operator, Harlan Wagner. We have Chief Technician, Brother Cliff Lewis. Definitely thank all streamers, YouTubers, callers, listeners, people who are faithful to the Zinc, to the Belizean community at large. I'm a hard, tough time to go through, but at minimum, try not bring no harm to yourself and other people and be kind. That's the least we could do. You could expect we're back here tomorrow morning. I don't know who one day along with Mose, but Mose, it's on to you now. Thanks for joining this morning.
I won't be able to be here tomorrow morning, so.
You won't be?
No, because I'll be flying.
No problem, no problem. I'll come in.
Okay.
All right. We'll have to do a final greeting. You know what you have to say?
Oh, yes. Stand strong, stand firm for now. We're gone!
Wake up, Belize. 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 Another day is here. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving. Na 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 na. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Voice our opinion and place your calling. WB. Be yourself, see yourself. This is a show of people. Belize our hopes up to needless reason. Nobody feel left out. It's the vibe we dealing. Let's find a solution. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Love, respect, unselfishness and cooperation.